So we'll continue on our parrot post phishing analysis room. Today we'll be looking at the Javascript obfuscation. So far we have uncovered that the attached.html file renders an HTML login form and an inline style sheet is used to define the web page's design. However, where is the login form sending its captured data, and what happens after we submit credentials? To find these answers, we must look at the final piece of this file inside the script tag. JavaScript is often used the login forms to perform client-side form validation asynchronously and to send the user's credentials to the server for authentication. As a running theme with this file, there are some hoops we need to jump through first to make it readable. JavaScript Beautify. This JavaScript code has been minified, removing any unnecessary characters and white space. Fortunately, we can beautify this code by copying everything between the opening script and the closing script tags, pasting it into the input of beautify.io and clicking beautify code. So we can either use this, or alternatively we can leverage Cyberchef's JavaScript beautify operation to accomplish the same result. Since we've been using Cyberchef, I would like us to use Cyberchef. However, if you want to try out beautify.io, you can do that. So we are going to copy the content, that is what the content inside the script tag. So we are coming from here, constant up to this point. That's what we are copying. Ctrl C. Then we come here. As Cyberchef is here, we delete whatever input we've had before. Ctrl V. Then we bring, so let's assume we didn't have this here. We type beautify. Then we drag JavaScript beautify here. So we copy our outputs. Then we come here, Ctrl V to replace the content. So what was the next question? We can then copy and replace the output in our file with the original JavaScript code we copied. Now that we have a readable code, the author accidentally left over some verbose comments that helps us understand what each statement is doing. Use this and some external JavaScript research to answer the questions below. The questions: what is the URL that receives the login request when the login form is submitted? So we are coming here, read through. Don't forget we are starting from the script tag, so we can read through. Login form, login button, get the username and password, document, get element ID. So we have a URL here. URL equals to this. So we copy from here. Okay. Ctrl C. Paste here. Ctrl V. Enter. What is the JavaScript property that can redirect the browser to a new URL? Copy this. Ctrl C, because we have to do some external JavaScript research. So we do Ctrl V. Then enter. You can have it here. Window.location.href. The href property in JavaScript to get or set the URL of the current web page. The use of window.location.href for redirection simulates the action of clicking on a hyperlink. So that's our answer. Window.location.href. Now putting it all together. Through our investigation, we manually decoded and inferred the true nature of this web page. To summarize, this is a login page that impersonates the legitimate Parrot Post website to capture user credentials for malicious purposes. The JavaScript code listens for the login form submission events and sends an HTTP GET request to another URL location, which is clearly not the actual Parrot Post login endpoint, detonating the form. Interacting with this malicious web page isn't something you usually want to do unless you are in a controlled sandbox environment. But let's demonstrate what happens when a victim falls for this phishing website. This will help us study the behavior of the document and its potential impact on a real system and victim without actually infecting or harming any systems. First, click Start Machine here at the top of this task. Okay. First, click Start Machine at the top of this task. This will open up the VM in a split screen browser window. I think we have that already. Okay, let's go on. In a split screen browser window, if the VM is not visible, click the blue Show Split View button at the top right of the page. Once you are brought to the desktop, open the original Parrot Post Action Required .chm document in the VM's web browser. Okay, let's not confuse each other. Let's allow the machine to load. No, don't forget we still have this one from the previous tasks that we've been doing. So let's open this virtual machine and see what we have. Okay, so this is the original attachment in our email. Let's not forget that we are actually doing a phishing analysis here. Okay. Note, for this task, please ensure you are using the VM attached to this task rather than the attack box. So we know we already have an attack box open initially. That's still there. For this particular task, you need to make sure you click on the virtual machine. You should be directed to the following HTML page in your browser, which we have already. As suspected, this is a credential capture login page, and it appears Paul's email address has already been filled in under the email field. This is a common familiarity tactic to have a victim think a site has remembered or captured their username, helping to create trust. Because this is already pre-filled, one would think that, oh, it's a website that I've been to and my credentials have been cached. It also reveals that this is likely a targeted phishing campaign, and since Paul is a senior executive, this may specifically be a whaling attack. I should have some videos and some introductory videos on the different social engineering attacks that we have, so we can check that later. Let's change the value of the email and password fields to represent fake credentials, as this will probably be logged onto the attacker's server. Then we click login. So we do as we are told. Tests at tests.com, then tab, then tests, login. We get our error message. Upon submitting our phony credentials, the website returns an error message claiming an error processing our login request. However, that might not be the case. This may be a fake error message that attackers use to ease suspicion, whereas in reality, our request containing credentials did go through in the background through the beauty of asynchronous JavaScript. Now we are going to check the network request. Just try to follow along. These are actually simple things to do. You just need to follow along. By checking the network tab in the browser's developer tools, we come here, we go to developer tools, more tools, right? Now go to web developer tools. Okay, we can quickly determine whether submitting the form sent a successful HTTP GET request. To open the developer tools menu, right click on the page and select inspect row. That's another way to do it. Once the tab is open, click the network tab. We click the network tab, right? So from here, we only need to click the login button to submit the form again. So we click this again. You should suddenly see a GET request appear. Good. We have a GET request here, right? Good. Our browser successfully established the connection to the evil parrot.chm web server and included our credentials as query parameters in the get request. Okay, let's see. I think I'm supposed to click this. Okay, let's go through it. You can see the email here. Email equals to test@test.com and password equals to test. Good. Clicking on the listed request will give us more details in the right hand panel. We can navigate between different tabs to fill information such as the request and response headers. The response tab will show any response content such as the HTML, JSON or XML response body. Sometimes this can give us more information about how the web server handles the request, depending on how verbose the server-side code is designed. Okay, play around by testing a request and analyzing the response. You may find some interesting information to help answer the questions below. So we have our headers, click on headers, click on cookies, click on request, click on response. Wow, tiny. So you just have to play around, get familiar, get comfortable. You can see it here, anonymous, injected. Okay, so let's move to the questions. What is the flag you receive after sending fake credentials to the endpoint? So we go to our response. We can see it here. Just copy this. And paste it. We correct. Okay, good. What is the part on the web server hosting the log of captured credentials? So you can see it here, evilparrot.thm8080 correct.txt. So from this, we know what to write. We're not supposed to write all this, just this one that we need. Enter. Based on the log, what is Chris Smith's password? Based on the log, what is Chris Smith's password? Okay, since we know that credentials have been stolen and appended to this, we just try to go to this site and see other credentials that has been stolen. So come here, open a new tab, paste it there, Ctrl V, click on enter. You're looking for Chris Smith's password. Don't forget the format. Chris Smith. What's his password? Fly like a bird. Interesting. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, submit. We can see other passwords that have been stolen too. They are all here. This is ours, test@test.com. You can see that now. Oh, okay. 9:55:08, 9:56:29. Someone else was doing this, I guess. In conclusion, you should now better understand how to identify and analyze phishing attacks that attempt to steal user credentials. You have learned to use various tools to inspect and analyze suspicious emails and attachments, and recognize and decode different obfuscation techniques used in malicious HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code. Remember, the analysis doesn't end here. It is always a good idea to report malicious domains and IP addresses to help protect yourself and others from future attacks. Domain registrars typically have a registrar abuse contact, which can be found by performing a whois lookup of the malicious domain. Malicious IPs can be reported through the appropriate internet service provider or hosting provider. So in summary, I would like to let you know that we started from identifying the phishing email manually by checking the headers. Then we analyze the attachment too. We solve some issues with the attachments and we try to modify and get the real picture of the attachment, just to show you how it has been obfuscated to evade detection by the email service. Now we use the original attachment that was with the mail and try to see what could have happened if we clicked on it in a sandboxed environment so that we do not infect or send valid credentials to that site. So thank you very much for following me through. I would appreciate your feedback, like, comment. Bye. What do you like about the room? The experience. Like the experience. I like to leave feedback. What don't you like about the room? Nothing. Please send your suggestions, ideas, and comments. Mm, okay. So from here we are going to like the room. Thank you very much.